So Disney might actually be the worst company on earth. A man named Jeffrey Piccolo went to Disney World with his wife, and they got food at a restaurant. And the restaurant just seemed to forget or ignore the fact that she had a food allergy, and she was allergic to dairy and nuts. And sadly, she passed away from this. And the medical examiners confirmed that it was an elevated level of dairy and nuts in her system that caused her to die. And Jeffrey Piccolo went to court to sue Disney because, duh, if you go to a restaurant and they serve you things you're allergic to and you told them you're allergic to it, that's kind of insane. That's like the one thing restaurants are supposed to do correctly. So he is suing Disney in excess of $50,000 plus legal fees, which is understandable, okay? This guy's wife just died because Disney couldn't take the dairy out of the product. But then, Disney's scumbag lawyers argued that, well, actually, you see, Mr. Piccolo agreed to never sue our company in 2019 when he signed up for a trial for Disney Plus. What? You're telling me signing up for Disney Plus means that if I die at Disney World, I can't sue? Are you kidding me? That is actually dystopian. This is horrible. Signing up for a streaming service should not have the terms of agreement of never suing for literally anything related to the company ever. That is insane. If the clause was related to Disney Plus, that's kind of understandable. Okay, I get that. But if somebody dies at a Disney restaurant and your claim that you have no liability is that they sign up for Disney Plus, that's insane. That is absurd. Now, luckily, Mr. Piccolo does have lawyers that have a brain and can read, and they called Disney trying to do this preposterous and inane, which it is. But then Disney was like, but wait, Your Honor, when they bought the tickets in 2023 to go to the theme park, they had to agree to the same clause, which is also insane. If you go to Disney World and get poisoned because the people in the restaurant couldn't separate the dairy and the nuts from your food, you should be able to sue over that. That is like the most reasonable thing to sue over. Like, I understand waivers in the sense of someone does something obviously really stupid and you should not be liable, okay? There are some situations where someone or a company should not be liable if someone does something really stupid. People are dumb, okay? People do dumb things. But if you're in a restaurant and you're trusting the staff to not poison you, I think you should be able to sue if they end up poisoning your wife and killing them. Like, this is insane. And the courts are really considering if they have to apply this clause in the contract to the case, which I really don't think they should. I think that's kind of insane. Like, yeah, I really don't think companies should have free reign to sign people up to never sue them and have that apply to literally everything. That is absurd. Now, thankfully, this case is still going to go through in some way, shape, or form, but Disney wants an arbitration, which basically means a neutral party, which I'm skeptical that they're actually neutral because Disney's pushing really hard for it. And then Mr. Piccolo wants a jury because, yeah, I think a jury would definitely side with Mr. Piccolo here because, yeah, that's insane. In what world would a jury be like, yeah, you know what? When I sign up for Disney Plus, I want to waive all my rights to life, okay? If you sign up for Disney Plus, that should not waive Disney of any responsibility outside the context of Disney Plus. If you go to a Disney park and die, and it's definitely because of Disney's fault, like if the Tower of Terror collapses or something, you should definitely be able to sue. And another big reason Disney wanted arbitration over a jury is because arbitrations are private. Yeah, I wonder why Disney would want this to be private. It's almost like it looks really, really bad. It's almost like it's dystopian and terrible and horrible. This is really why I think terms of service should never be enforceable in court like this. Because yeah, no one reads them, dude. If you read this agreement with the idea that you couldn't sue Disney if you died in a Disney park, I think most people would be like, you know what, that's kind of sketchy. I'm not gonna sign that. But no one reads the terms of service because they're too long. No one has the time to read over the terms of service of every application they sign up for. They just don't. It is insane to expect consumers to read through all of the terms of service and understand it thoroughly. Because keep in mind, terms of service are written in legal jargon. People cannot understand this. It's not normal English. And there's words in there that you would use to describe something in English that's completely different because it's legal jargon. But this is unbelievably dystopian. I do not want to live in a world where if I sign up for like Nintendo Online, if I go to Nintendo Land and Mario literally kills me, I can't sue. That is insane. I really do hope they get a jury trial because, yeah, Disney should not be able to sweep this under the rug, being like, yeah, so we kind of killed this guy's wife, and then we tried to say he couldn't sue us because of a thing in Disney Plus. Disney should not be able to hide from this because this is an insane thing for a company to do. And I understand that if Disney admits liability, they had to, like, basically admit liability to, like, everything. I get that. But, like, I kind of don't care. If it's that big of a problem to admit liability, maybe Disney shouldn't even be in business anymore. Because keep in mind, too, this is just the only case we've heard of this happening. This has probably happened before. Why wouldn't it have happened before. They cited a subscription from 2019. Like, do you think in that time period more people haven't tried to sue Disney over stuff that happened in Disney parks? Because I'm sure they did. This is probably not the first time this has happened, which means Disney has been pulling this out of their hat for as long as Disney Plus has existed, at least that we know of, okay? I'm not trying to slander Disney over here, but if this is the first time something like this has gone public, and Disney really wants it to be an arbitration so it's private, how am I not gonna assume that this hasn't happened before dozens of times, and Disney had just managed to keep a lid on it? Why would I not assume that as a consumer who's reading the news? Because I think it's most people's assumption if the clause in the lawsuit prevents any lawsuits from basically being public, and Disney parks are struggling, okay? They just are. If Disney had any time in its history to hide a bunch of things related to Disney parks, it would be now. So yeah, personally, I think this has happened before. Because why wouldn't it happen when Disney is this desperate? And realistically, this shouldn't even really be a question. We should not be sitting here questioning, does Disney have the right to slip something in their TOS for their Disney Plus that they can't sue anything related to Disney ever? That should not be a legal question. That should be a no. This is some devil contract stuff. Like, unironically, this is like selling your soul to the devil and he puts something in the fine print that means your soul's gone, okay? We took it, it's in hell now, you can never get it back. Like, that is the equivalent. This is a devil's contract. Like, unironically, as a society, we should not let this happen. This should not be something that we accept as like a normal thing. Like, legitimately, a company should not be able to hide waiving liability for anything in their TOS for a streaming service or in general unrelated products to other products. Like, if you buy a coffee maker, for example, and it explodes and you own a toaster by the same company, they shouldn't be able to say your warranty's not covered because the toaster you have is fine. That doesn't make any sense. They're completely different products. Like, Disney Plus and Disney World are not the same product. There is no world where I look at those two things and I'm like, yeah, they're the same, but yeah, this is horrific. I think the craziest part to me, honestly, is the fact that Disney would even let this get this far. They should have really just taken the jury trial because I think this looks a lot worse. This is the kind of dystopian nightmare that people had been sold for like 30 years. Like, this is what we were told companies would try to do, right? So if they start trying to do it like they are right now, people are gonna get really upset. And it's not like Disney parks are doing well, okay? They're constantly struggling. So it kind of baffles my mind that Disney even thought this was a good idea to begin with, because obviously, this is not going to play out well in the public. Nobody likes companies right now in general for some pretty good reasons. Like, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Nobody likes companies right now. Nobody likes big corpo companies. So, Disney doing this might just be like a terrible idea. It probably would have been more worth it to just have the lawsuit go through and then not have this bad PR. Because this bad PR is going to be a lot harder to clean up than the lawsuit. And obviously, morally speaking, this is deplorable. The fact that Disney company would even try this is insane to me. Like, somebody died from an allergy at your park where I presume they said they had this allergy. Because if I had a food allergy, you bet I'd be telling every single waitress and server I've ever had in my life that yes, I have a food allergy. Please make sure there's nothing in the food that could kill me, please. I think anybody who had a food allergy would be doing that. So the fact that Disney presumably had that happen and still let this person die because they had dairy and nuts in their food is insane to me. And then they try to block the lawsuit with a Disney Plus clause. That's insane, okay? That is utterly insane. But I think that's it for me and my take. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you follow me through @spatnz1 and click the down, check out all my content, and have a good one.